on it running. They are all using the same infrastructure. Today I will tell you a little bit about how do we cope with the day-to-day business in a rapidly growing company. I'm now working for MyToys since 2011, so I will have the 8 years this year. And when I started, day-to-day business was defined as, or day-to-day tickets, something that only for existing products or features, a ticket that is not complex, a ticket that can be developed within 2 or 3 days. And, of course, also we have some bugs. So this is our definition of daily business. How does it work, or how did it work in 2011? Quite easy, like in all small companies. I was a stakeholder. I just wrote a ticket. 5 minutes later, I pick up the phone, and then I called my favorite developer and said, hey, I have a really important little stuff ticket. Can't you just fix it? I'm pretty sure you will do it quite fast. I know we have all these other topics, but it's just a little thing. Please, just do it. Often I had some luck, and yes, my favorite developer, that's why he was my favorite developer, just did it. And of course, he got some chocolate for it. But then, MyToys grow a little bit. We are now at 600 million turnover. We started, when I started MyToys, we were at around about 200, 240 million. And what happens now? You can imagine it. Though I just saw the last process. I was a stakeholder, my phone, some chocolate, and the developer. But then, suddenly, I wasn't the only stakeholder. And I was not the only one who was calling my favorite developer. And because we got more products, because we were growing and we had more products, we also had some more developers. And not everyone liked chocolate. Some also liked some other sweets. Though it became really complicated to get my little stuff done. Just to give you an idea of what we mean with little stuff. Something also like, hey, I need a new filter color. Or, oh, a script integration doesn't work anymore, we should adapt it. Or, oh, we got a mistake in the voucher, to put a voucher in the checkout. Oh, payback e-coupon doesn't work. So really little stuff. You can imagine we got a little bit more. And at the end, we had a backlog with 500 day-to-day business tickets. Cool. Try to find now the right ticket to do out of 500 tickets. So we said, keep calm. Let's have a look what are the problems. We have more stakeholders, we have more products to maintain, we have more specialized developers, we have an unclear prioritization, chocolate doesn't work always, conflict among stakeholders, and at the end, too much chocolate. So we have all these tickets, the how to find not the VIP, but the very important ticket out of it. So what have we done? First step, let's have a look how we can focus all the stakeholders together. So we built key users. Key users got the goal, or the goal to prioritize all the tickets or the demands from the departments where they're working. So for example, for marketing, we had some key users, we had for purchase some key users, and they put everything together in one backlog. They also get a short technical introduction from our side, so they get a little bit of an idea how the shop is working. This can help when they're thinking about some problems, what is possible. We also trained them to write tickets. Yeah, not everyone from stakeholder is in the situation that they know how to write a ticket. They also are members of the business value poker table. I will come to it later what this means. And we connected them directly to the product owners. So we had some fix with them, where we just exchanged, okay, what are the next steps, what are our plans, and so on. And a lot of more. But for the daily business, these are the most important points. There was some privilege. Then we created some product teams. Yeah, sounds normal today, but in this time it was, wow, cool, product teams. Yeah, though we had some specialists from product owners, we had scrum masters and dev teams, because it was really difficult with all the products we had that one developer knows everything. Yeah, that's why we built different teams. Then we had one problem. Now a stakeholder asked, okay, I write a ticket, but where should I write it? Where should I send this ticket? Though what we also built up is a kind of shop entrance, a board for all day-to-day tickets. Everything is coming in and will get organized in which team it has to put. This will be done by the product owners. So we sit together, have a look at the backlogs, and then say, okay, this is for you, this is for me. Oh, this is also for you. Yes, this is also for you. Yes, this is for me. Damn it. Okay. Then, the topic, unclear prioritization. Really difficult. So we tried, like everyone, to build a kind of business value calculation. And it's not as easy because sometimes it can look like this, or like this, after the prioritization, when you have a look at the backlog. What we wanted is something like this. So we have here the most important ones, second important ones, and here's stuff, yeah, it's nice to have. So what we had at criteria, we had the revenue, or the loss if you don't do it. We have the affected customers, so how many customers are affected by the change. UX branding, and some boost for legal stuff, strategy, and so on. You can make your criteria on your own. It's just something we started and it worked quite good for us. So, okay, now we have some numbers and a really fancy thing how to calculate the business value. But how do we get the stakeholders together that we all have the same understanding what is important and what is not so important? That's why we created, instead of a story or planning poker, what you know from Scrum for the developers, what we did is a business value poker. So we sit together, I think some product owners are still here, Pierre, Alexandre, we did it in a room behind you. We took the first 100 tickets and just tried out, okay, to what is important, how much business value will it create, and so on. And after we had the first 100 tickets, we had to look, okay, let's try to find some reference tickets for the numbers. Yeah, so what is 5 for turnover? What is a 5 for branding? What is a 3 for branding? And then we tried to find some tickets, and then we went on with the other 400 tickets. Took some time. Same with UX branding. And then, of course, we built up some knowledge in the stakeholders, but also for the product owners to get a good feeling what's important, what's not so important, and how do we prioritize. We all have the same understanding. And sometimes we got some guests. So, for example, some key users are coming every week, some others are just coming every second month. And for them, of course, it's difficult in the planning poker to say, in the business value poker, to see, to evaluate, okay, is it now a 3 or is it a 5? That's why we created a kind of reference card where you have some numbers on it. For example, turnover 1 is, I don't know, 500,000 euro, and 2 is 1 million, and so on. Now, daily business is a little bit smaller, 5,000 euro, and so on. Though they can have a look, and then in the ticket it's written something like, yeah, we believe this little change will make, I don't know, 5,000 euro. And then there's all the people who are in the business value poker can say, yeah, I believe it, they give it a 1. Or, no, I think it will bring more. So we can give it 2, or 3, or 4. And then we can discuss. We can say, like here in the example, okay, we have 2 people who said 3, 1 said 5. Then a short discussion, really maximum 5 minutes, because it's day-to-day business, so we shouldn't discuss it really long. Why someone believe it will be more or less. Yeah. And for the guys who like processes, this is then kind of process. So we have here the stakeholders, the key users and the product owners do the business value poker. Then the prioritized tickets went in the shop eingang, where we put them to the team boards for the developing. And one key learning we had from all this process stuff and so on is communication and transparency. Why? Because now we have a backlog where everyone in the company can have a look, where's my ticket, on which position, how much business value points I got, how big is the chance that it will get done, because of course, like in every company, we can't do every ticket. And we are sure that we are doing really the most important stuff. And that's it already. Do you have any questions?
I'm assuming that your product owners also have their own roadmaps. How much capacity does each team have for day-to-day tasks?
At the moment, we say 20%. So we have around about 20% for day-to-day business. We have around about 30% for the bigger projects that are coming from the company where we say, okay, we are supporting like integration of payback, where we have also finance and so on, we're working on it. And the other 50% is really your product budget that you can use to push your product on top.
So are you still carrying your 500 tickets in the backlog, or did you kill, was there a threshold where you say goodbye?
Really good question. Exactly, that's what we did. We have we call it Lenkungsausschussplattform. wait. Where we sit together with the top management board and then we ask them, okay, we will never do every ticket. And we said, okay, where can we do the cut? And then we had a look at the tickets and then we said, yeah, everything what has less than 7 business points will not be done. And that helped us a lot to make it a little bit shorter. And yes, it helped us also because in the past, just imagine the developers, every time the phone is ringing, yeah, okay, we'll do it. Starting 10 minutes later, the next one is calling, though of course the developing is also getting faster.
I would like to know about validation. Like you're, in the poker, you're assuming certain impact and certain business value. How do you validate it? And like how good, let's say, is that poker? How valuable is it? I guess you've kept it on.
Honestly, we are still working on it, but we are getting some feedback. So when we are doing stuff, then in the next round we say, yeah, okay, last time we all said it's a 3, but honestly, no, it's more 2. So it's a kind of learning, but we don't really have an open process for the feedback loop. Yes, still open. We are working on it. For the day-to-day business, yes, of course, only for the day-to-day business. Of course, we have it for everything what takes longer. But here it's always a question, okay, does it make sense to do all these big projects for something that sometimes only takes 2 hours?
Hi, keeping the less tangible things in mind, how do you manage to have coherent decisions regarding this value bucket that you have?
Sorry, didn't...
Yeah. Do you want me to reformulate the question?
Yeah, please. Sorry.
Yeah. Keeping the less tangibles, the non-tangibles in mind, how do you manage to keep coherence when you do your value poker in order to not disregard non-tangibles?
Do you have an example?
Well, there are things that you cannot easily monetize,
Yeah. Then they will get less points on turnover and get more points on UX and branding, for example. Yeah, and of course, we have some tickets, for example, or the tracking tickets. That's also where we say, yeah, okay, we just do it. And we have also some stuff like very important campaigns, where we say, okay, it's a 99. This is where checkout is always happy when they have to develop something, because some marketing guy said, oh yeah, let's do some really fancy campaign. And yeah, sometimes we have to develop some stuff.
Thank you.
Hi. So in this whole process, how do you do shifting prioritizations after you've done the business poker? I assume you don't want to reopen all the tickets every time again. So how do you do that?
If I can go, give me a second. So what we say is that usually we take 2 or 3 tickets from daily business to the developer teams. So we will not touch them, but like we are working in sprints or Kanban, depending on the team, then the next tickets are coming and we are just going from the top to down.
And things change?
Things changed?
Yeah, so that was basically the question. So how do you deal with shifting priorities, right? So in one meeting you said, this is a 5 or this is a 10. Suddenly in the next meeting, things actually changed. How do you deal with that? Do you discuss the ticket again? How do you decide which one?
Okay, so the situation we would only have if, for example, a stakeholder see, oh damn it, my ticket got only a 9, but I think it's a 12 or 14. Then he can come to our poker table and discuss with us why he's believing that it's a higher number. But otherwise, there's no change after it usually. Why should it change? Yeah, but we are talking about daily business. We are not talking about bigger toys. Really little stuff like, hey, I need a new color in a filter. This is totally independent from the strategy, normally.
I think next one, how do you include costs into your prioritization? Because currently you're just focusing on output, but not on input, right?
Exactly, because it's a daily business. And we say, okay, it's maximum 3 days. And so the costs are more or less fixed. Of course, there's some difference between some are done in 2 or 3 hours, some in 2 or 3 days, but we don't have a look on it. Because otherwise it would take too much time to specify all this stuff. We are doing this for all the bigger topics, so bigger product development, but this is really, we have to do it fast and not taking too much time because the turnover is not big enough that we can sit all together and discuss hours about the effort in the dev teams.
And what's the ratio between investments into the day-to-day business and to the or tickets and into the tickets that aim to fulfill mid-term, long-term goals?
The ratio is 20%. Yeah, we have 20% of daily business and 50% of product owner stuff. And the tickets for the product development can also be small because we are cutting them smaller, but they are in one epic, so we are working on the whole epic. What's your thoughts?
Hi. So I wanted to ask, how do you deal with your stakeholders being able to deliver what you perceive as day-to-day tickets and not requesting features or kind of features within those tickets? Do you have a process of refining them or you just educate them?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit the culture at MyToys because when we were small, it was possible for everyone to write a ticket. And then we said, okay, we can't do everything, and especially sometimes we had some guys from marketing who asked for something and someone from purchase exactly the opposite. Also this can happen. So we stopped it, and then yes, we trained the people, and we have the filter key users. And this made a big difference because then suddenly you don't have, I don't know, the junior purchase manager who just came second week and said, oh, I will change everything. Then you have the key user who said, yeah, it's fine, good idea, we'll put it to our backlog of the purchase management. Or if it's just a bug, they can just write it. It's also fine. For bugs, everyone in the house, if we see something, he can write a bug ticket, it's okay.
Based on the last thing that you just said, what is the difference between PO and the key user in this example? Like the key user you said is the person saying, okay, nice idea, but we cut the line here, we don't need it. How is that different from a PO?
Yeah. the key user represents the department and is more or less the person who's talking to the department. And the product owner is the one who is also talking to departments for the bigger stuff. For the small tickets, not really, because it's coming from the stakeholder, from the key user. And the product owner is the one who owns the product and is working together with the developers and is developing the product. So many questions.
I would like to come back to the effort. So I still didn't get it because somehow, I mean, you trained the key users, right, to only create small tickets. But from my experience, sometimes you think it's only a small ticket, but in the end, it turns out to be a 2-week thing because it just gets messier and messier, right?
It's no problem. So that's why we have this table, and then the product owner. Usually in our house, they already have a feeling. Nice try, it's not a day-to-day business.
Okay, so basically as part of the poker, you kind of have an estimate with people with experience who say if it's a day-to-day ticket, and if not, you kind of say, well...
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that we really estimate it, it's just, okay, maybe, how do we do it? One of my product owners is already preparing the tickets, to have a short look on it, and then we meet together in a little room, and then we with the stakeholders or with the key users together, and then we just said, okay, today we have little topic X that is not really complex, blah blah blah, and then the product owner who will do the ticket can say, I don't believe it's day-to-day business. Let's talk about it later. How we can put it on the roadmap of the product owner, or maybe it's a bigger topic. Then we put it on the product or the project roadmap.
Yes. So you said in the beginning it was super simple. You just wrote a ticket, you handed it to your favorite developer. He implemented it, or she implemented it. That was it. How did this whole process evolve and impact the lead time that you have now from, let's say, ticket creation till implementation, testing, ready for production? Did that change? Was it shorter? Did it go longer now?
Of course, it's changed, and of course we are not really faster compared to the beginning, or compared to 2011. But like I said, here or here, we really had the problem that the developer wasn't in a situation anymore to do anything because everyone was calling him. That's why then we put the product owner in between. But then the product owner had the same problem. Everyone was calling and asking, when is my ticket done, and so on. So I would say it was like a little bit chaotic before because it was not transparent. And what we build now is that everyone can see, everyone can see now, okay, where's my ticket? That we are faster in developing because we don't have all these interruptions. And all the process here doesn't really take a long time. So we have now the situation, we have this meeting 2 days in a week for 30 minutes. And I think last week, right, we had not enough tickets in the shop island. I think there were only 2, so we even skipped the meeting. So after we had all these 500 tickets and we trained all the people and so on, it's getting really better and it's fast. It looks really complicated, but we do it really fast. We're 5 minutes by each ticket maximum. Other questions?
Yeah, one last one.
Yeah.
Have you ever explored combined relational business value between tickets? Like if you put 4 and 4 together, maybe it's 8, but if you put 2 more, it could bring higher business value?
No. Short answer, no. Yes?
Okay, maybe last question?
Yeah, I was wondering if you get enough data from your stakeholders back in order to really assess the effectivity of your work as in matters of return of investment or not.
Yeah. So first of all, again, it's day-to-day business, so it's really small stuff. It's not something where we change something, we have a new color in the filter and now turnover is getting up. Wow! No, not really. So yes, we have in the tickets, so the standard story should be, yeah, I would like to have this change to do this, to have this effect and to get this turnover. But honestly, if you're just changing the filter color in a filter, turnover will not be so big. So yeah, we asked them, and especially SEO, they have a lot of great numbers. SEA also, or the media guys who are selling some media stuff, and the rest we see and think, okay, how good is it for our product, and then we just do it.
Cool. If there are more questions, I'd ask you to keep them and ask Alex after the event. A very big applause, please, for Alex. Thank you so much.